Hello, I'm Priscilla Archangel, and my leadership insight for you today is, whose tank have you filled? I recently facilitated an end-of-year meeting with one of my clients, and I allocated time for each person to share what they appreciated about every one of their colleagues. So we were meeting virtually, and each person was invited to put their thoughts in a group chat so that the recipient could go back to it later and reread it. Now, as the facilitator, this was about them, not me. So I wasn't even thinking about asking for their comments about me. Until just before we ended the meeting, someone said, "What about Priscilla?" And then they all began to type in their words of affirmation for me. And I must admit, when I read it, I got a little bit emotional. I didn't realize the impact that my consulting had on them over the past 2 years. And it energized me, it tapped into my strengths, and it reinforced where I can add value to leaders and organizations that I'm honored to serve. Think about now when someone shared with you the positive impact that your work had on them and gave you a sincere and a transparent compliment on a job well done. How did it make you feel? Maybe you knew you performed well, but the way they framed it took your emotions to a whole new level. Or maybe you took your role for granted and they regrounded you on how you made a difference in their personal and professional lives. Either way, it was like filling up your tank with gas. It brought a new level of self-awareness of your gifts and abilities. In a world where self-criticism and pressure to perform is common, it's easy for us to get stuck in a swirl of negativism, flooding our minds. It takes focus to be positive with ourselves and with others. And as leaders, we can all easily fall prey to focusing on the performance gaps in our team members. Instead, the opportunity is for us to focus on what they do well. And that means leaning in to observe where they make the strongest contribution to the team or organization and affirming that. Let them know we see their gifts and talents. Now, this is not a step reserved just for performance check-ins or only with direct reports, but it should be done with anyone on the spot when something happens. It inspires confidence in them to boldly go and to be the best they can be. As leaders, you'll also observe team members struggling in some area of their work. Recognize that we all get distracted by the beautiful trails veering off the path we're on. We glimpse the lush scenery in the distance and we're tempted to explore it. And this can look like the potential for bigger roles, more money, greater power, but that may not be our pathway. If we instead focus on finding the road we're supposed to be on, the one where our talents shine, we'll find that it takes us to the place we're supposed to be. And that means leaning into purpose. Your role then as a leader is to help others tap into and value their abilities and to support them in discovering their purpose. Leaders who see the value in others and recognize their capabilities build engagement and relationships. Organizations that are trying to build connections, particularly in a hybrid work world, have to remember the importance of leaders getting to know their people deeply. Know their desires, help them polish their gifts. Help them also recognize the paths that will be too rocky for them, that may have a steep cliff beyond the beautiful greenery or even a dead end around the curve. Most importantly, let others see your belief in them. This public transference of trust will model the importance of valuing others' contributions and encourage team members to gravitate to the roles where they perform best. And by now, you should realize that this transfers to bottom line results for the company. Affirming others' strengths is an investment in their growth. So make a New Year's resolution to see and acknowledge the value in others. Thanks for listening.